I used to pray for humility every single day. I still do, but I pray for discernment this time too. What's up, Billboard and the world? I'm Jussie Smollett.
Billboard magazine is pleased to welcome Jussie Smollett. Good to see you,
Thank
sir.
you for
How
having me.
doing?
Nice to see you too.
Good, good. Mr. Multi-hyphenate between singing, acting, directing, songwriting, producing, and probably more I don't even know about. I wanted to ask you about how singing and acting work creatively together for you. Why was that such a thing for you?
I've been so blessed and a little lucky, to be able to do certain projects that just so happen to have a musical component, particularly obviously with Empire. That was just the perfect kind of marriage of so many of my loves. Music has always been the driving force behind everything I do. Even when making movies, when creating, now that I'm directing and writing and producing and things like that, it's still music is the thing that I listen to when I'm writing. Music is the thing that I'm listening to as I'm creating the storyboards of how the scenes are gonna look, and then music is absolutely what guides the edit. So music is just, it's where I sit.
When you were cast in filming that first season, did you think it was going to do what it did?
I didn't think about it because I was just so happy to have a job. And I was so happy to be doing what I love and, working with great people. And I really didn't think about that. I just trusted the process. I knew that it would probably be critically acclaimed, especially the team that was behind it. I don't think that there was necessarily any way to know the kind of this juggernaut that it was gonna be, and certainly changed the trajectory of my life.
Exactly. So what had you been doing just before that? When you said
my
earlier
goodness.
you were happy to get a job.
Yeah, everything.
Everything?
Everything. I worked as a waiter. I did retail. I raised money for children infected and affected with HIV/AIDS here in the States and in South Africa for an organization named ANSA, Artists for New South Africa. Back in the day, I worked as a clown at children's parties. I was like, whatever I needed to do, but I always held down a job, always took care of myself. But then this was wonderful. It was a really wonderful, wonderful break.
It was one of the first shows, if not the first show, about the music industry like that, and at the same time, music from the show was being put out by a major record label.
I'll never be big enough to pay your dues.
You had this drama, so it was this kind of, what Shonda Rhimes was doing, and then we also took kind of what the American Idol X Factor was kind of doing, where it was, and we were able to mix, these great soapy type of storylines that also sometimes felt very real, and also have that musical component while also selling the music and being successful with it. So it was crazy.
What did you learn musically during your time?
You know what I learned mostly about songwriting and my craft is the business of it.
Okay.
I learned about publishing. I learned about splits. I learned about, I was used to doing it with my musical partner, David Ott, and it was just like, well, this is 50-50. You know what I mean? Like, this is easy. But then you're learning about, so there are other writers on it, or you write a song and then somebody comes in and they add something to it and you're like, wait, say what?
Or there's a sample.
Yeah, there's a sample that has to be cleared. And we indie artists, we didn't have it in us to be sampling music. Oh my goodness, that's a whole other level, So it was just another level of understanding that it really was like a great education for the music industry, the good, the bad. Even some of the storylines in that show, it would be like, hey, does this really happens? And then you look it up and you're like, oh, that really happens. Companies are taken from under people and publishing is taken from under people, or somebody changes something and it's what you wrote, and all of those things. I really got a good, like a first-class lesson on the business of it all.
Working with legends like a Terrence Howard or Taraji P. Henson, what did you learn acting-wise?
Watching Terrence and Taraji both together and separately is like watching a masterclass. But also, aside from Terrence and Taraji, we had some phenomenal actors come through that show. Yeah. We had Forrest Whitaker and Alfred Woodard and Vivica A. Fox and Tasha Smith, and just really, really great people coming through those doors. So, every day was just an exciting learning experience for sure.
And music videos, you have a favorite video?
Absolutely. I directed a video for my song on my first album called Hurt People.
Hey people, hey people.
And it was done, we did it in South Africa. and we shot at Constitution Hill. It was the place that Nelson Mandela was held before being taken to Robben Island. When it was done with my cinematographer, my DP, Jody Williams, who I've worked with Jody, started working with him on Empire, and then did the music videos with him, and now he was the DP on my first film, B-Boy Blues, and now he's the DP on The Lost Holiday.
Talk a little bit about B-Boy. When did that come out?
Oh, that wasn't love. I saw it. You had that glow.
We released B-Boy 2 years ago at this point. 2 years ago on BET Plus. We are working on a sequel because it's based on the best-selling, book series B-Boy Blues by James Earl Hardy. So there's like tons of books there to continue the story, and it's just a love story. And we told it, and we opened up at ABFF, and then we were nominated for Best Feature Film for GLAAD, and we won the fan favorite for ABFF. It was my first film, and it was really exciting. And so just building my company, building my kind of filmography has been exciting.
So your new film coming out in the fall, The Lost Holiday, that you wrote, produced, directed, and star in, right? Okay, so tell us a little bit about the film without giving away too much, what it's about and how you got involved.
It's about a man who's played by Jabari Red. He passes away suddenly, and his estranged mother, who he hasn't seen in about 8 years, who Vivica Fox plays, comes to LA to handle his arrangements and sees that they're already being handled by her son's husband, who she knew nothing about, and I play the husband.
Jason is Damien's husband.
Damien's husband. So have you made funeral plans?
We can talk about that a little bit later.
Speaking of Vivica, I think you guys go back a long ways. How did you know she was the right person for this role?
I just feel like Vivica has been a part of some of the most iconic films, but even deeper than that, has given life to some of the most iconic characters, of my generation, certainly. You look at what she did with Why Do Fools Fall in Love and Set It Off and Kill Bill and, Independence Day. And there's not anything that I believe that she can't do. So I called her, and I just said, I was like, I want to do this film, but I can't do it without you. And she said that she was on board. So, and I mean, she really, really invested her time into the film in a way that someone on her level didn't have to, but she did, and I'm forever grateful for her.
I believe you worked with Mona Scott Young on this project, so what was that like working with her? And for folks who may not know, she does Love and Hip Hop, but she's also longtime manager of Missy Elliott.
Yeah, Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes, Mona's been killing it for a minute. Mona actually first came on board for B-Boy Blues. She was a producer on B-Boy Blues, and she came on board for B-Boy after the film was done. And she's the reason why we were able to get it to BET and really lock that down. So she came on board as a producer and was really, really valuable in that.
So how hard was it directing yourself?
That is hard. Especially, it's more difficult in this type of setting than it is for a setting like the TV show.
Why is that?
Because the TV show had a budget.
A little six-letter word, okay.
A little bit of a budget. We did not have budget for things like playback. It really was myself as an actor having to trust my fellow actors and my DP, really. I really had to trust that my part was good enough, because I'm not able to see me. When we're doing Vivica's coverage and we're doing Jabari, or we're doing Marquise or Brittany or London or whoever,
right.
I can see their performance. So if there's a little tweak or anything, I'm like, hey, you might want to do that or move this certain way. But for me, I'm just like, this is out there.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more difficult in the process of just trusting it. But then you realize once you get to the edit, you're like, you know what you're doing, and it'll be okay.
There's a song coming, My Mind.
I said it was over.
The music in this film is really, really, really special. It has so many people just contributed to the music, and I have a couple songs on there, and the first one that we're going to release is My Mind. It's really about, that thing that you just can't, maybe the thing that drowns you, that you just can't let go of, and whatever you can be addicted to a lover, you can be addicted to a substance, you can be addicted to, whatever you're addicted to that's toxic. That's really what it kind of is.
Will that be released independently?
Yeah, it'll be independently on my label, Music of Sound. Recently, we released my song, Some Things, and it went to #1 on the R&B iTunes chart.
Just about a million things to do.
We just pushing, and like we're gonna release the soundtrack, and we're gonna release, there will be an album that, my album is done. It's just sitting there like, just like, when do I release this? When should I release it? And everybody's just like, yo, just do it, just do it. It's nice to have something for yourself, but then realizing that, you don't just make it for yourself.
Will you be any performances coming up?
I think that most artists would say that that's kind of what it's for, is you really, really want to get out there and be able to see the people and enjoy them, and hopefully they enjoy you.
Yes. You've also been through intense public scrutiny and legal challenges, which you're still working through. But what is it that keeps motivating you after everything you've gone through? What advice can you offer?
It's really about knowing who you are and being okay with that, and recognizing your flaws and acknowledging your flaws, but not letting anyone else tell you who you are. That's
And
what
how
gotta
have
do.
you protected your mental health?
I haven't always
you
protected
haven't?
my mental health,
Okay.
but I am now. And I used to pray for humility every single day. I still do, but I pray for discernment this time too.
Anything else you
No,
want to
I
share?
think we're good. Thank you for being so
Okay.
kind. I
No,
appreciate it.
thank you for sitting here
Thank
with
you
us.
for being so classy, elegant.